Good morning and welcome to the vlog. So it's currently 3:45 in the morning and you're probably asking yourself, what am I doing up so early at this ungodly hour? And to be honest with you, I'm asking myself the same. I'm currently at St. Pancras International Station, just getting ready to catch a train off to Luton Airport, and the plan is, as you can tell from the title of this video, is to head to Cyprus and let me talk you guys through what's happening in Cyprus. So, off on a family holiday, so I didn't pick the destination, nor is this a destination that's specifically very interesting for photography, to be honest. I've done my research. It looks beautiful. It's got some beaches, some beautiful hotels, but it's more of a resort flavour and not really a landscape photography flavour, so that's all good. The main reason me and my family are heading there is because my uncle's getting married, and that's where the photography portion of this journey comes in. So my uncle asked me to be the wedding photographer, and that's a great challenge for me because it will only be the second wedding I've ever shot, and it's really great to build my portfolio, and that's something I'm passionate about and want to get into one day. So the more wedding photography shots I can put on my website and show potential future clients, all the better. And obviously it's a high stress situation, and that's a good challenge, right? Get some bangers out there, take some good wedding shots, and be richer for it afterwards. Sorry, got interrupted there for a second. So what happened is they cancelled the train, which is never reassuring and never a good look when you're trying to get to the airport in a specific time to catch a flight. So a lot of panic on the platform, but the train's back, a little bit delayed, but hopefully we can get on this. Fingers crossed. Okay, so a few hours have passed since I last filmed, and well, made it to Cyprus, and it looks amazing. So, well, standard hotel, holiday resort vibes in the background, but that's not really it. Check out this view. It's currently sunset and this island's looking beautiful. Also, we just finished the final wedding rehearsal, so I wish it was during light as beautiful as this. That would just make for the perfect wedding. Golden hour, best time to photograph portraits and people in general. But alas, that is not the case. Tomorrow's wedding's during the day, and I hope the light isn't too punishing and too harsh. But with all things photography, especially event photography, you got to adapt to your situations and just make the best photos you can in those given situations. And obviously in post-processing you can still put your own twist on it, recover some of the harsher shadows if possible, and yeah, let's see what happens. Tomorrow's the big day, and fingers crossed we can pull this off with the camera, and more importantly I hope the wedding goes according to plan for the couple, of course. So check in with you guys soon. It's the following day now, and I thought I'd check in with you guys ahead of the wedding because it's going to get super busy. Of course I won't be able to vlog then, like I said, because definitely got to prioritize getting those shots in and capturing those perfect moments that can't be repeated. So that's where priority lies, definitely not this vlog. So currently in the venue, and the reason I came over here just before the ceremony starts, just to pick out some details, familiarize myself, and maybe just grab the lens and get some finer details, maybe photograph these signs on the chairs, pick up some little details that the couple wants to remember afterwards. So always a plus, always good to do before the actual party starts, because then the opportunity's not there anymore and it's untouched right now, which is perfect. So yeah, just setting up shop, gonna grab some shots and probably share some with you guys here as well. So don't know how I'll be vlogging today or how much, but just thought I'd show you the intro, show you what the venue is about, and then pick this up at some point in the future. See you then. Before I forget, one thing it is worth mentioning, I'm going to talk you guys through the gear I'm using today. I brought 3 lenses along, and I'll talk you through why I chose each and every single one. Check this out. So using my trusty Canon 5D, which obviously always delivers great shots for weddings especially, really perfect all-rounder camera. And then attached to the front is my 24-105mm zoom lens. Now, gotta be honest with you, I hate this lens, because it's just not as perfect as these two bad boys over here, which is on my prime lenses, and I'll talk to you guys about these in a second. But where this one falls behind in quality compared to these two, it absolutely trumps them in versatility. During the ceremony, when there's a lot of action happening and a lot going on, you can't have you don't have the luxury of changing lenses the whole time. So having this zoom range, which covers way beyond these two, is just perfect to never miss that moment. So and the autofocus is amazing because it's fast moving, a lot going on. These prime lenses I prefer for the actual couple shots, as well as the candid shots of the wedding reception afterwards. It's my 85mm prime and my 35mm prime, which are perfect portrait lenses, great for documentary on the 35, as well as some close-ups and some portraits of people on the 85. Beautiful, beautiful lenses. And I've shot many amazing portraits that I'm really happy with these in the past. So can't wait to be using these. I'll use them to pick out some details now. But definitely during the ceremony, all-rounder zoom lenses, can't lose with these. So I'm back in London now, and let's talk about how the story continued. So the wedding started, and every wedding starts with a procession, where first the flower girls start walking into the venue, followed by the bride and groom. So at this point in time, I felt the zoom lens was extremely useful because with that 24 to 105mm range, I could zoom in really close on the individual people and adjust my focal length as they were coming closer to me, because the closer they got to me, the wider I had to go. And then also I could switch in between environmental shots, where I captured a bit of the crowd as well as the people walking in, as well as zooming in close on the people walking in and getting that in detail as well. So at one point in time I was looking to actually shoot this wedding, both pictures and video, and to then create a wedding video on top of that afterwards, but I felt that didn't tell a good story because all the key moments were missing, like the first kiss and exchanging of rings, and I don't think a wedding video would be complete without those moments, because in all those moments I was of course busy taking the stills with the camera, but at least it left me with a lot of footage that I can use for this vlog and to tell the story for you guys, at least filling in the gaps with me narrating right now and showing you some stills along the way as well. So felt I did pretty well during the wedding ceremony because I've managed to nail all the key moments, got various angles of the couple as well as them exchanging rings. That was the one key moment. Them signing their wedding contract, as well as the first kiss. So those are the key moments you definitely don't want to miss during the ceremony. And I nailed the shots each and every time, shooting the wedding in manual throughout, and yeah, being able to adjust all the settings during my edit afterwards, because the one key thing when shooting weddings is while shooting you need to keep your edit in mind. So keep shooting at the same exposure value in camera, so that come the post-production you can get the uniform look throughout the whole ceremony, which is entirely key because you're representing your own brand as a wedding photographer and you want all your pictures to look constant. So yeah, that went really well. Managed to catch all the key moments of the ceremony, and then when the ceremony concluded there was a toast. So I got some really great candid moments there of the bride and groom obviously cheersing with champagne, as well as then my focus turned towards photographing all the people. So just people mingling, having a glass of champagne, catching up, having a laugh, and at this point in time the prime lenses were extremely useful. So here I used the 85mm prime, reason being obviously the picture quality is superb, and with those wide apertures you get on a prime lens, you can really separate the foreground from the background and really focus in on some individual characters. So I got some really great candid shots here, and another key benefit of using an 85mm focal length to get some candid shots is you're in telephoto range, so you're not shoving your camera up in somebody's face and making people uncomfortable. You can take a bit of a step back and then photograph the people as they're having fun, just being natural, and that's how you actually end up catching the most candid moments. So with the toast being concluded, the bride and groom actually had a pretty awesome idea I found, where they would take the entire wedding party on like a old school looking bus, and they hired the whole thing out for afternoon, and everybody got on the bus, loud music playing, everybody had a really great time on there. So got some more candid moments in the bus. So because it was more close quarters and a little bit of a low light environment because you're obviously indoors again, I used the prime lens again. This time the 35mm prime lens, and it's just my favourite lens of all time. Like, managed to get some really cool moments of people just having a fun time on the bus, and that slightly wider focal length was just amazing when you're inside tight quarters like a bus. So yeah, the real difficulty there was the camera shake and nailing focus, because the bus kept moving a lot, and yeah, a lot of vibrations going on, so it was really difficult to get some good shots, but ended up with a few keepers in the end. And my single favourite shot of that bus ride was the bride and groom actually just having an individual moment amongst themselves that I captured through the rear view mirror that they had in front of the bus. So I thought that just looked really amazing, and a little bit artistic, and just a real kind of special moment to me, and definitely one of the best shots I took during that day. So the bus journey continued, and we ended up at some cliffs, and this is kind of mid-afternoon, middle of the day, and the light was pretty harsh, but you just got to work with it and keep rolling with it and keep firing those shots and keep getting those photographs. So this was the perfect opportunity for some group shots actually, and managed to get the ocean in the background as well as the light coming in from the side, so it wasn't too bad, and managed to get a few shots there. I mean, the light isn't golden hour amazing, but managed to get some good shots of all the people in shot, and managed to get in on a shot myself, because I'm obviously related to the groom. He's my uncle, so I'm of course a key member of the wedding party, so I wanted to be in there as well. And actually had to pass the camera to a random stranger and had to explain to him what to do, which isn't so easy with a 5D lens with manual focus. So, well, that worked out well in the end, and then we all got back on the bus, and we headed off to location number 2. Now this was a natural rock bridge which overlooked the ocean in the back, and that was just amazing. And I think this was the key portfolio defining moment for me personally as a photographer, because I got some really amazing shots of the couple standing there on the cliffs with the ocean in the background, and them walking over this natural stone bridge, which just looked phenomenal, like really spectacular, using the 35mm prime lens, and it was just made for the perfect environmental portraits, just wide enough to capture the whole scene, but not too wide enough that you can't see the people properly and that they aren't distorted. So really great rendering on the 35mm prime lens, and got some portfolio defining shots there for sure. After getting some shots of the wedding couple, the whole crowd was in pretty good spirits, and some really good Canon moments ensued where the bridesmaids and the flower girls ended up climbing onto the top of the roof of the bus, and I got the bride and groom involved as well. They jumped into the side of the bus, and the light was really awesome at this point. Not easy to photograph because it was actually facing into the sun, but it was starting to dip onto the edge of the bus. And I used this opportunity to really make use of that sunlight coming through and tighten the aperture on the lens, moved it all the way up to f11 I think. And that allowed me to create a lot of sunbursts coming onto the edge of the bus, which made for some really dramatic shots of that sun just peeking through and creating all those flares in between those people jumping at the top of the bus, as well as the bottom of the bus. Also, once I got those shots, it was super awesome because everybody else got in front of the bus, and we got some really great group shots with the sun flaring on top again, and this time I wasn't in the shots, but that doesn't matter. I thought the group shots ended up perfect anyway. So afterwards, yeah, the party continued, got back on the bus, another little impromptu road trip, and started heading back to the hotel, which is pretty awesome because started waving at a lot of people on the side of the road, and they waved back, and just good spirits, and everybody was really joining in on the celebration, which was some special moments as a family for sure. Next, we arrived back at the hotel, and everybody kind of just took a time out because all the wedding guests were actually staying at the hotel, so this gave them the opportunity to head back up to the room and freshen up. And I used this time slot to capture some more of the details, because while we were gone on the bus ride, the hotel had set up the restaurant for us as the wedding party to come back and enjoy the meal, and obviously there was special decorations that the bride and groom had specifically picked out before the wedding, and these are definitely shots you shouldn't miss as a wedding photographer. And of course, similar to when I set up when I was taking details of the venue prior to the wedding taking place, this was the perfect time because the guests weren't there yet, and I could just take a few moments just to pick out some smaller details like the menu or some of the cutlery or some of the table decorations, because typically during weddings The bride and groom will pick up the centerpiece for each table, as well as some name cards, or potentially some wedding favors. This wedding didn't have them because I don't think it's German tradition, but yeah, some weddings have that. And yeah, those are the kind of things you should look out for and capture, and just pick out some individual pieces. So there again I use my 35mm prime lens because I just think prime lenses bring out all the detail, and you can do some amazing work working with depth of field just to separate the foreground from the background and really focus in on some finer details like name cards or some flowers or some cutlery, that kind of stuff. Well, next, the wedding party arrived and dinner was served. I didn't take too many shots here myself because I myself was eating, because I'm obviously a family member and I had to take my seat, but yeah, this was amazing, really great food. But after then the evening entertainment happened, and they got an ABBA tribute band, so they came on singing and really interacted a lot with the crowd, which made for another opportunity to get some really Canon moments, which was beautiful. Just some people dancing, singing along, clapping, those kind of moments. So that was really great. And this was actually the most disappointing moment of the evening for me, because I was really looking forward to capturing the bride and groom having their first dance, and I was using speed lights at this point, which are flashes on top of your camera. Had all the settings dialed in, was really eagerly anticipating them opening up the dance floor, and then the other wedding guests kind of hijacked that opportunity away from them and stole the show and just started dancing. And that first dance as such never really happened, which is a bit of a shame, because I think that's one of the key wedding essentials and one of those traditions you should definitely respect during a wedding. But I kind of at one point shushed everybody off the dance floor when the bride and groom did eventually end up dancing, so I said, come on guys, give them a moment, let them dance alone. And then I kind of got the first dance, in inverted commas, afterwards, just getting a few moments of the two of them alone on the dance floor. So kind of tried to save the situation there in a respectful way, which was kind of cool. And then yeah, more dance floor events happened. Afterwards the wedding cake came out, which of course again is a key moment, and you shouldn't miss that moment as a photographer. Here I kind of tried to get a bit involved in the moment, because I was using my 35mm prime lens, which again is slightly wider. So I tried to get in a bit lower and use that lower angle for some dramatic effect of them cutting the cake. Kind of really happy with those shots, and I do think I nailed them, which is awesome. And then for the rest of the evening I just kept going and doing my thing and capturing the wedding guests having fun and just dancing and having a good time all around, which is cool. And one key thing I wanted to point out here for photographers is that this is actually the easiest time to shoot, because it's nighttime now and the light's not going to change, because during sunset and during the day the angle of the sun keeps changing and it keeps getting darker throughout the late afternoon, so you keep having to adjust the settings, which again impacts your workflow afterwards, because you want to keep that uniform look and you constantly have to adjust the exposure as well as the contrast and shadows in Lightroom afterwards to make all the shots look the same. However, during the evening ceremony this is pretty easy, because you're using an artificial light as your light source, and you keep the settings constant throughout. So I used f2.8 and I quit pretty high ISO, I think it was ISO 800 and 1/160th of a shutter, just to freeze the motion of people dancing. And you can honestly take 100 or 200, 300, 400 shots and all the settings are the same, and then when you go into Lightroom you just need to honestly edit 1 or 2 photos and then copy the settings across all the 100 other shots that you end up selecting, and that's the easiest part of the editing process, because you can honestly knock out 100 photos in a matter of seconds, and that's amazing. So for all photographers out there who are looking to photograph some more weddings, my advice would be get those settings right at the beginning and just keep them constant at all costs throughout the evening, and your work afterwards will be cut short by hours. So on that note, obviously the evening ended, and that's the perfect time to also end this video. So hope you learned something if you want to get into wedding photography yourself one day, and if not, or just in general, I hope you enjoyed watching this video and enjoyed the journey of me photographing a wedding and sharing my experience with you. And if you did, I'd appreciate it if you enjoyed this video, if you just hit that thumbs up button below and give me a nice comment below as well, because that really helps this channel grow, and would be cool to keep growing this community together with you guys. And lastly, I really hope to see you in future videos where I typically explore London as well as various other places in the world, or chat about my thoughts about editing tutorials and that kind of stuff. So if you're a photography enthusiast like me, do get involved in this journey and hit that subscribe button below, and I hope to see you in a future video. Bye for now.